By the early 1980s, my mother had begun to metamorphosize, like a pupa growing its wings. She wore her once long and lustrous hair cropped close. "So much easier this way," she would say, each time she snipped it away. Black snow falling on our white kitchen table. The no-fuss hair matched her homemade power suits, her style an expression of her aspirations to be a career woman, no matter how low the pay or status of her actual job. With what she had made of herself, she sponsored relatives to come to the United States and supported others in Korea. All the while, my father sailed the Pacific for 6 months out of the year, leaving her to be a half-time single mother. Out of necessity, she had become the pillar of our family. And then came the break. What started as an interest in local and national politics quickly careened into delusions of grandeur and paranoia. Her mind had become so absorbed by the machinations of Ronald Reagan that there was no room left for thinking about food. Her shrinking pantry was perhaps the first sign, the prelude to a mental agitation that would turn our garden fallow and our cupboards empty for years to come. In 1986, when I was 15, she developed what psychiatrists call florid psychosis. Florid. Such a beautiful image to describe the terror. A field of flowers from which my second mother bloomed. This was the mother of my adolescence and early adulthood. The one that loomed so large in my consciousness that she overshadowed the other mother of my childhood and made me cower in the corner. Not because she was violent, but because I had somehow, despite never having known a mad person, internalized the stereotype that equated madness with danger. Because schizophrenics are seen as some of the most dysfunctional members of society, homeless, inscrutable, murderers. I was afraid of my own mother. But even more terrifying was the prospect of losing her, as she became prisoner to the voices that told her to stop doing the things she used to do. Stop talking to strangers. Stop answering the phone. Stop going outside. Stop cooking. Stop eating. Stop moving. Stop living. And I did, in fact, lose her to a kind of death, one where she withdrew from the social, a death in which society rendered her worthless and disposable. It was a stereotype that erased her personhood, and especially her motherhood. Because psychotics are not viewed as capable of loving or being loved. My socially dead mother sat on the couch for years on end with the curtains closed, completely cut off from the outside world. This was the mother whose voices told her to make herself invisible and small, to sit in the dark, eat as little as possible, and let no one from the outside see her. This was the mother of my coming of age, the one around which my adult psyche formed, the one I could not let disappear, but could not yet fully embrace. It seemed as if she heeded the call of the xenophobes to go back to where you came from. For her origins were not so easy to locate, and therefore the place she came from was a kind of no place. She was a Korean born in Imperial Japan under conditions of forced labor, who returned to a divided, occupied, and war-torn Korea, and was later exiled for her transgression of sleeping with my American father. Her retreat inward seemed to take her back to these places of conflict, making her want to stamp out her own existence and vanish into nothingness. The town to which we migrated was not a refuge, but another place of imperial violence, where the rescued must continuously pay a psychic